you have to figure out ways to win. Playing hard on the defensive end and on the glass, every single possession is the way you win.
Incredibly athletic, brilliantly coached, fast in the backcourt.
He's one of the best freshmen in the country. He's one of the best players in the country.
As a team, Alabama dominates the backcourt. They got a lot of guys. They're deep as can be. This Alabama team is really good.
You see Alabama warming up on the other end in the NCAA tournament. They can strike some fear into it.
Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the Nate Oats Show, brought to you by Tri-Green Equipment, along with the head coach of the Crimson Tide. I'm Chris Stewart. Coach, you wonder how things can get better after a week where you beat Vanderbilt by 57, the biggest win ever in SEC play for the Crimson Tide, and then you turn around and just win 2 more ball games again and remain the only undefeated team in conference play.
Yeah, I mean, the road game, we didn't play our best, but thought we bounced back and played a lot better at home against a good Florida team that had been playing well. So to go 2-0 at this point in the season, though, is, you know, you look across the country and see teams being upset and teams are getting better and figuring things out. So for us to still go 2-0, like we're happy with that.
Especially as you're the team that everybody's chasing, and LSU had something to prove after you beat them so badly the first time. Let's get into the highlights, Coach, and take a look at the trip to Baton Rouge where your team was fantastic. Again, maybe not at the same level we saw in that first matchup, but Noah Clowney continues to be one of the top freshmen in the country.
No, he's been really good for us. You know, it's good to see him making some shots again, kind of get him going. He's got some slashes for some dunks. I mean, he played well for us, so he's a tough kid, too.
Mark Sears falls in that category as well.
Yeah, he's been shooting it a lot better here. It's good to see him get his three-ball going again. So he had some assists. He had shot it. I think he's 3 of 5 from 3, if I remember correct, that game. So he's been playing a lot better for us, too, here in the last week.
How great for you to game plan for your team and not against your team, given all the weapons you've got, including a guy off the bench like Rylan Griffin.
No, Rylan's really been shooting it well, too. I mean, he's had a couple of good shooting. He shot as well as anybody this game, if I remember right. He was 4 or 5 from 3 this game. So he can really shoot. We knew that. He kind of struggled early. He's kind of got it going now. He's got size, athleticism, shoots it well. Another guy with size, athleticism, shooting it well. He shot it. I think he hit his first 3, if I remember right, in this game. So he came out, hit a few, had some good finishes, had some good assists. He found Clowney on a couple drives. So he's playing well for us, too.
Bounced back from that injury that had him sidelined for about a month. And really, Coach, it's crazy. He's playing even at a higher level, it seems, than he was before the injury, and you see balanced scoring once again at a place where LSU played far better than they did the first go-round.
Yeah, they played a lot better. We knew they were going to play better. You know, and you're right, we had 5 guys in double figures that game, and Amari offensively is playing better than he was before the injury. We really getting on him to get his defense back where it was, and it's getting close. So we've got a lot of depth. I mean, you kind of saw, you know, we've got guys like Don Welch and Noah Gurley that have been heavy minute guys at different places. You know, Noah's been great for us, and you know, sometimes it's harder to find the minutes based on matchups. They've just got so many guys playing so well, and they're both really good players, and not necessarily that they're playing bad. It's just hard to find minutes for everybody right now.
Love victories for a lot of reasons. Among those, we get a chance to go all access, as we'll do right here in Baton Rouge.
Don't take for granted what we doing, man. Y'all a special group.
They're sitting in their locker room saying, hey, man, we got to go harder. Like, this is our gym. We got to protect our – so how do we respond?
We won. We found them. We love each other. We haven't one with another do well. We more of a team than anybody in this country is, all right?
What do? You punch him in the mouth out of the gate, man.
Throws a lob. Bediako the flush. He'll throw the lob. Bediako the flush, and it's there every single time. And a break. Burnett, left side. Catch. 3, bottom. Stepping back, shooting a 3, bottom. Boy, I thought they were going to leave him alone, and I was sure glad they did. Now on a run out, Rylan Griffin will throw it home.
Alabama's started making some shots from the 3-point line.
Center Quitterly on the drive, the lob to Clowney, the catch and the flush. Top of the arc, steps left, shoots a 3, and man, is he red, smoking hot. Cut off, kicks it to Sears, he'll drive and dish. Griffin in the corner, hits 3, bottom. Bediako goes down the lane, goes to the rim, off the glass and in, a foul called. The and one opportunity with baseline, they trap him, somehow got it to Griffin. Three, bottom. What a pass. Man, from Brandon Miller to Traylor Quinterly. He'll drive all the way to the rim, off the glass and in. Kept his footing. Gives it out to Clowney. Catch and shoot. Three, bottom. Going down the lane. Nice pass over his head to Clowney for the flush. Allen will step back. Shoots a three. Make the three. They gave him just enough space. Reverses back. Sears. Catch and shoot. Three. Back-to-back threes from the pride of Muscle Shoals. Mark Sears buries it. Tide wins it. 79-69. In Baton Rouge.
Who's the dunking coach? That's what I want to know. Who's in charge of that on the staff?
Nobody on staff is a very good dunker. Brian coaches the bigs, so I don't know if he's going to take responsibility for that. He might be able to still dunk. He could definitely dunk back in the day. He can't dunk anything like those guys. I haven't dunked in a long time.
Yeah.
It's been years since I've dunked. So Petway can't dunk. Charlie can't dunk. Maybe some GA. Dom Johnson, our GA, can still dunk. Maybe Dom's the dunking coach.
Dom's the dunking coach. Yeah. Whoever it is, they're doing a really nice job. And so, too, did whoever was responsible for the start against Florida, because, man, the Tide looked so good against the Gators right out of the gate.
We came out ready to go, and it was one of those where we hadn't played well at the start against LSU, and we said we got to have a better start. So, I think we scored on our first three possessions. So, getting the three from Brandon out of the gate helped. We just ball moved, transition was good. We found shooters open. Sears, Brandon. Yeah, Brandon obviously had it going pretty good this game. So he had a nice dunk there, some nice threes. He played well.
I'm not sure, Coach, I've seen many guys who are clearly a star at his level who blend in the course of a ball game, not disappear, but blend in with their teammates, and I guess it helps when you got a guy like Mark Sears who can pick up the load at any moment offensively.
Mark's been shooting it well too. It's been great to see Mark play, but you're right about Brandon. I mean, he's a great team player, can pass the ball, can do it a little bit everything. As can Mark. Mark gets downhill, finishes strong at the rim, gets fouled a decent amount, makes threes at a high clip, can kind of play the 1 and 2 both, finds our bigs on rolls. So it's good to get him back shooting it well, playing better. We need everybody clicking on all cylinders here when we come towards the end of February, into March.
Speaking of, good grief, Javon Quinterly, Coach, I've seen him for a long time, but I'm still amazed at just what he's done to get himself back and to play at the level he is right now.
Yeah, I mean, he looks as good as he's ever looked in these last few games. So he's shooting the ball at a high clip. I mean, it looks like 2 years ago when he was shooting it that well. So what is he, 3 of 5 from 3, if I remember correctly, in that game. So, and he's getting downhill. He had 5 assists without a turnover, So there you go. There's one of his assists right on cue. With the dunking coach.
He's picked up well on that. It'd be a shame guys aren't having any fun in the process too, but winning seems to bring that on, more big numbers across the board. But again, it is across the board. I think you had gotten to 50 points, Coach, without a single guy being in double digits at that stretch. I think that's a Tom Hart number. I think it's a Tom Hart number. I may be wrong, but it was incredible. It was incredible to see the depth, the balance that got you to that big lead early.
Yeah, I mean, what did we have, 52 at the half? So I didn't realize nobody was in doubles. Yeah, but Brandon, Sears, Charles was playing well, scoring on some lobs, different. Amari steps up. Clowney's playing well. So, we've got a lot of balanced scoring options. Everybody kind of sees how much Brandon's doing. He's been unbelievably great, but Mark's been doing well. But then we've got other guys that are capable of going for 20-plus on any given night, too. So the balance, makes it hard to prep for us. Mm-hmm. Makes it hard as a coach to find minutes for everybody, too, which it's a good problem to have. I'd much rather have that problem than the one we had last year where you're giving way too many free minutes, in my opinion, to maybe some guys that hadn't earned them. But now it's like guys that are really earning them in practice, you don't have enough to give them. And it speaks to the character of the team, how great the guys are when they're not playing as many minutes as normally. Their attitudes are great. Like Noah Gurley's been unbelievable this year, so I can't say enough about him. Dom Welch's attitude's been great. So I think that's why you see the chemistry. The guys are having fun on the end of the bench. We got really good guys on the team this year.
Good problems to have, good chemistry, good highlights to show as we go all access.
From a jam-packed Coleman Coliseum, we welcome you to the SEC on ESPN. They have obliterated all conference covers and winning every game. They make Cincinnati the first touch. Indeed, Sears, top of the arc, 3. Good Lord, is this thing high. 5-out offense. It opens up that floor. Alabama has taken away Florida's strengths, and Alabama's strengths are immeasurable. Now, even with Brandon Mills going full speed, to your point, he does not look rushed. Up, and he's going to have hands and one half for the Alabama Crimson Tide. He elevated. Tied the other way. Miller to Bediako, the clutch, and he is what a pass. Bediako with the jam. He's got 8. And when they're shooting the ball like they did in this building, there's not a team in college ball that's going to beat them in here.
Add my name on the calendar.
Welcome back, everybody. Glad to have you with us here on the Nate Oats Show, presented by Tri-Green Equipment. All right, you claim you're not a big social media guy, but we're going to make this a big social media show. We've done that a segment every week. It's the only, if you're not a social media guy, this is the time you get a chance to see it.
I don't have it on my phone.
I believe you.
Just make it harder to get to.
I understand. You did send this out.
Yeah, you know, I can get on my computer and send some tweets out. So
that's a good one to send out, Coach.
Yeah,
we were glad to see it.
Appreciate those guys wanting me to be around here for a couple more years. So it's good to be here.
We appreciate you wanting to be around. I assure you of that. Also, good to be out with the family. And that includes the basketball family as well. The first mom sending that out.
Chuck's done a great job out of the restaurant. Charles Morgan, the owner, has done an unbelievable job kind of making the team feel welcome there. So he brought Yoshi, his sushi chef that's in charge of all of his restaurants, into Tuscaloosa and made Chuck his own Angry Chuck roll.
If you can say Yoshi, the sushi chef, without hurting yourself, there is a future in broadcasting, whether you want it. That was impressive.
I'd like to stay coaching for a little while before I get into broadcasting.
Better than delivering pizzas, although in this case, it was a good cause.
Yeah, it was good. It was some of those students waiting out there a long time to get in. We want to make sure we take care of the students. Our student sections have been unbelievable this year. We need to keep student sections being unbelievable. So let's keep them happy with some pizza while they're waiting.
Fluff's legacy continues on without question with those folks. And Mercy, some of this stuff was fun to watch in transition. Yeah,
the block, 2 dribbles, he's up the floor. Boom. That was nice, huh?
Fun for a play-by-play guy, too.
Playing fast in transition. That was pretty good one-handed.
I think he looked at it. He went up, cocked it, looked at it, and then threw it down.
Yeah, look where his head's at. Is that at the rim? Yeah. Pretty close.
Yeah, it was
if
there.
That one's not, I've seen his head at the rim in practice before.
Yeah. Pizza roll time.
Where's the pizza rolls coming in?
I don't know. That's just the reaction when Mom says she's making pizza rolls, and I don't know who's more excited.
Yeah, Brandon looks excited, but Coach Hodgson looks like he's fired
Hodgson
up.
looks excited
Don
about the pizza rolls.
The dunk coach in the back, like we talked about.
Exactly right. Incredible.
The Rocket 8, I learned last night.
Can I call this the Apollo 11, though? If that was the Rocket 8, your team is now the Apollo 11?
Because we've got 11 scholarship guys.
How about that?
I like it. Roll with it. You
coined it right here, the Apollo 11.
It's your show.
Yeah, right. The showdown on the Plains. That'll be a big one on Saturday.
Yeah, they're ready to go. We know they're going to be ready for that one. That's going to be their Super Bowl. So we got to be ready to bring the energy there. And that place, that new arena they got with the students right on top of you, that place is loud.
All right, Coach. Let's get into some questions, I believe, from the student body. You ready for this?
I don't know if I am or not.
Hey, Coach. Are Coach Hodgson and Coach Pettaway the best recruiting duo in college basketball?
I'd like to say so. Shoot, they're signing top 10 classes, top 5 classes every year. Those two got a great chemistry between them. You know, Brian signed a lot in this freshman class now. Pettaway signed a lot in this upcoming one. The two of them work together a lot. And I think their whole staff has good chemistry. Like, Charlie's got the NBA background. When they come and he's coaching the guys hard and they're getting better. And so, but yeah, I mean, Pettaway and Brian are the lead recruiters on most of these guys, and they're doing a really good job recruiting.
See what else we got, Coach.
Hey, Coach, what's your favorite food?
Oh, shoot, my favorite food? Let's go with the sushi. Go down to Chuck's and get some sushi.
Yoshi
I
with the sushi?
I like a lot of food. So when they ask me my favorite, when I was a kid, my mom would, "What's your favorite meal for your birthday?" I'd say French toast. Like I'm a big breakfast for dinner guy, like that. But sushi's probably a little bit. I'm growing up and taste, adult taste now, better palate, adult palate.
Yeah, but breakfast for dinner, that's a big time
Yeah,
call
yeah,
right there.
I like breakfast food.
Also awesome.
Hey, Coach, what was your favorite math lesson to teach?
Oh, shoot. Favorite math lesson to teach? I like statistics with the probability stuff. You get cards, not that I don't gamble, that's not, but like you get to teach. The kids seem like they're more interested in some of that kind of stuff.
They can relate to it.
Yeah.
They can relate to it. You just light up talking about numbers.
That was good.
Hey, Coach, hypothetically, if Herb Jones guarded Brandon Miller in one-on-one, would Miller score?
Hypothetically, we're going into some math. So if Herb Jones guarded Brandon Miller, look, I think great offense beats great defense, but Herb's pretty elite.
It's pretty special.
That would be quite the matchup. I'd like to see it. We may get it in the summers when they could both come back to town. Look, man, I'm not. That's a great question. Best question of the day. But let me say it this way: Herb's got the best chance of locking up Brandon Miller as anybody in the country does. And I'm still not sure he could do it, but he's got the best chance.
I'll make a prediction. We'll know in about 12 months.
Yeah, they'll play each other for sure.
Hey, Coach, why do you hate long two-point shots?
I don't hate them. The people have this misconception. We just like to take the most efficient shots, and those typically are not the most efficient shots. You got to shoot 40% from 2 is 0.8 points per possession. 40% from 3 is 1.2. That's a big difference. So just take a few feet back and get 1.2 off it. Your percentages aren't going to be any different, really, long 2s and 3s.
Who wants to work 10 hours when you make the same money in 8?
It's a great way to look at it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
It's more 12 days.
Hey, Coach, why did the Packers not make the playoffs?
Oh, she knows I'm a Packers fan. We had issues all year. Look, from the first week, I wanted to be done. Then they teased me and got me back into it at the end of the year, and then just dropped us off the cliff at the end, like losing the last game when we could have got in. So they weren't good enough. That's bottom line. We weren't good enough. That's why we didn't make the playoffs.
I love the we. One more.
Hey, Coach, do you really think Chris Stewart's jokes are funny, or do you just laugh to be nice?
I'm a nice guy, so if they say a joke, you gotta laugh, even if it's awful. So some of them are funny. I can't. That would be really mean to sit here next to Chris and tell him none of his jokes are funny. But the ones that aren't funny, you laugh anyways.
It's just me. It's just me. It is my show. You just said that.
Yeah.
Just give you the title. Tri-Green is the sponsor. We're back with more in just a moment.
The play style really caught my attention. The NBA play style is just playing fast, going up and down, and just playing the hardest you can. I mean, that's just something that I'm looking forward to in my future, and I mean, that's just really my end goal, man. Honestly, I play for my city, Seabrook, Beaufort. I play for my brother. My brother died 3 years ago, about 4 years ago. He wanted me to be this, and I wish he was here for me to, show him. And I mean, I always know he with me. So I mean, I always got that motivation to keep pushing and do what I got to do for me, myself, my family, my community, and I'm just representing Alabama. I just want to be an example for all those guys back at home that really don't believe in the journey. For me to reach my full potential, I had to surround myself by other players that's better than me, or that I consider better than me, or that I look up to. So coaches did a great job with this group, man. And I mean, I'm just looking forward to having a great season. Hey, don't worry about the number, hey.
Coach, there are two things that to me embody your basketball team in the last week. It would be the Vanderbilt game. You're up 40 with less than 10 minutes to go, and Noah Clowney's on the floor diving for a loose ball. And then Nick Pringle doesn't play for 2 ball games. You put him in early in the second half in your most recent contest against Florida, and he's all over the place and completely reignited your basketball team.
Yeah, I mean, Pringle's been great. He wants to get better. He's got 3 years with us. Like, we're just trying to get his skill level better. He's one of the best athletes He works hard. I mean, he's a really good kid. Like, if you're around him and spend time with him, like, you really like him. He's funny. He's got a way about him. He's a likable kid. But, shoot, for his size, he's one of the best athletes I've ever seen. So, you know, I think, you know, he's fairly skilled, too. He can handle the ball. He's a good passer. It's not just an athlete. He scores in the post. I mean, we've been playing him on the scout team. Our bigs have a hard time guarding him, like when he's the opposing team's big on scout team. So he's getting better and better. I think, you know, we're getting more comfortable with him in there. He's figuring out the defense a little better. That's kind of where he had to figure out the most of it was on the defensive end. But he's definitely going to play hard. It's a big-time block there from last night's game, but it's a nice finish. So, you know, shoot, if we could show you the practice highlights. He's getting some nasty dunks in practice all over everybody.
You got a core group, Coach, of 7, 8 guys. They're going to play the bulk of your minutes every night, who are like a well-oiled machine. But you still got about 3 to 4 other nights. I don't mean this anything except respectfully. They're really good spare parts that you can plug in almost any time.
Well, yeah, and you need that. You know, like you said last night, you know, we needed a spark. It wasn't going well. We put Pringle in the game. And he gets blocks, dunks, he kind of gets the crowd going. You know, we had that. You know, last night they had some bigs, like real big bigs, you know, and Clowney got hurt, you know, later in the second half. But, you know, Charles played all right, but Charles can't keep going forever. You know, he's one of those bigs, you got to give him a break. So Clowney's more a 4. We play at the 5, it's undersized. You know, so Pringle gives us a guy with a little bit more size than Clowney, some athleticism, spark off the bench. You know, in other games when we need a really good 4, Noah Gurley's been great. You know, Tom Welch played pretty well last night. We definitely have different parts we can bring in. And Pringle's one of those guys that, moving forward, you know, he's just got so much upside. And he's such a good kid that you want to do well that I think he's got a huge, huge future, big upside with him. We're looking forward to seeing that here this year and moving forward in the next couple of years too.
Looking forward to a big week ahead as well. We'll talk about that and put a close on another Nate Oats Show when we come back. Did not take you very long, Coach, to understand what the Alabama-Auburn rivalry is all about. Now here you are in your 4th year, and you got a matchup where your team has reached a level that College Game Day is going to come and see. It's on the road at Auburn. It'll be a great environment, but incredible the national attention that this game is going to get on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, when we got here, obviously Coach Pearl's done an unbelievable job there and built that. Were they number 1 when they came in here my first year? They were.
Yeah, were indeed.
Yeah, he's
top 5, I know.
Yeah, they were in the Final Four the year before I got here, so they've been top 25. You know, we had to build ours up, got it up there. He had already built it up, did a really good job. I mean, when he took that program over, they were on the bottom. So, got 2 top 25 programs now, and each team's going to compete, play hard. We know they're going to play hard. That environment there. Shoot, the environment here. When we got that win, you know, we weren't all that great our first year, but we got a win here against them. That was huge for the program. You know, we've had some battles in between. You know, they won the SEC last year, so they swept us last year. We got to try. It's not easy to go in there and get a win, that's for sure. And they're going to play hard and they're going to play well against us. We know that.
More orange on the horizon as we'll head to Knoxville next week as well.
Yeah, I mean, at the beginning of the year, they were picked to win the league. You know, we weren't. They're still competing for a league championship. Just if we could beat them on the road, it goes a long way towards winning the SEC championship because they're going to be one of the teams we have to beat to win it. So
yeah, maybe the most veteran group in the league too.
Yeah,
well,
they're
Coach.
A very veteran group. You know, Vescovy, I mean, Ziegler's one of the best players in the league. Key, their transfer. I mean, they've done a good job of bringing Julian Phillips, a freshman right there. You see, bringing in transfers, good freshmen, having veteran guys. I mean, you know, and Coach Barnes does a great job too. So these are toughest 2-game road stretch we'll have all year.
Hopefully a great following on the road once again, as has been the case all year, and hope to see you here again next time on the Nate Oats Show.
This has been a presentation from Learfield,